Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to all my blessed beloveds out there in radio land, video lands. Where are we? Video. You're watching Living and Thriving with Rusty, and I'm Rusty. Whew, my last guest made me cry. So you can see it a little bit. It was a tough conversation to have. And it looks like we are on a little bit of a slow-mo. So I'm not sure what's going on with my internet at the moment. But so my last guest made me cry a little bit, and hopefully I don't sniffle through this next show.
No, it'll be great. What are you talking about? It'll be fantastic.
Make me cry, Wayne?
Hey, Rusty.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Good. What's happening?
You know, living the dream, as always. What are you doing?
I'm trying to be careful of a hot mic.
Ooh. Yes. That would be, that's gotten a few people in trouble, but it's been quite entertaining for the rest of us.
No kidding. Yeah. And so, when this interview is over, if you're going to say, boy, that really sucked, make sure your mic is off. All right.
Oh, Wayne, I'm going to be always honest with you, but I don't think it's going to really suck. You just have to get through my sniffling because the last guest made me cry. So I'm a big mush.
It's allergy season,
Yeah, that's it. I like your thinking.
I'm telling you, I'm there for you. Whatever's going on.
Yeah. So Wayne, who are you? What do you do? And why do you do what you do?
Who am I? Why am I here? Well, my wife and I ran a business for many a year, and then we sold it. Yay for us. And I've always loved to read, Randy. So I've loved biographies and memoirs and stuff, So I started reading a lot of them. And Randy, they really suck. I mean, it's really amazing, And most of them are sort of the ilk of, I looked at the mountains and I furrowed my brow and said, there lies my destiny.
Dun, dun, dun.
Exactly. A little of, yes. That's all crapola. I've always been of the opinion that life kind of happens in vignettes, and they only make sense kind of looking back, not when you're going through them. So I decided I'd write a memoir full of things like the day we pitched the loan shark and the day Johnny Cash hit on my wife, important stuff like that. And and each chapter is kind of like a short story. And when I submitted it to a publisher, they said, what are you, out of your mind? You have to have a narrative arc, and you have to start with getting cancer and then what you went through to emerge victorious and whatever. Well, you know how they say one day you're a bum and the next day you're a genius? So in the 240 character world, it proved that people, when they're reading in their favorite place on the throne or whatever, really kind of like having something they can read from start to finish with a short, So to answer your question, who am I? I guess you could say I'm not really a wannabe author. I mean, I don't have my eye on the great American novel. I may have already written it, And why am I here? Because you're kind enough to interview me about my book. Wait for it. Tales from the Day. Yes. Available on Amazon. Yes. So
I thought it was. I thought your proposition to me was really quite interesting because you mentioned that, if I remember correctly, that you have no filter, and I think that there is a huge population that appreciates being authentic and no filter, and so I'm imagining you wrote the book in the same mannerism as you come across without any real care.
Yeah, I really, because I'm so convinced that so much of doing things is getting out there. For example, I'd be willing to bet that if somebody pulled up to the curb 5 years ago and said, Randy, what are you going to be doing in 2021? You would not have said this. I'm willing to bet.
Not
See?
the YouTube
And
part.
that's
I actually, my podcast has been going on for 11 years. So the YouTube's new.
really,
Yeah.
well, good for you.
This is my secret pleasure, I suppose. I love meeting people. I love learning about what makes them ooey gooey on the inside. And I love watching them discover their purpose as to why they're supposed to be here and
Uh,
flourish.
well, I think if nothing else, if what I did, my attitude is people would rather laugh than cry.
Yeah.
And, we had just call me crazy, but, and, my thing about it, I think most people take themselves too seriously, honestly. And that was one of the reasons I wanted to write this, just to say, hey, we all go along and we think we're going to drain the swamp and all we find is alligators. And it's just kind of the way that life works. So, uh, so one of uh, the chapters in here is about blowing town with a monkey. And sorry, I'm just getting rid of a caller. And that's kind of the way it goes. You start out on something and it ends up being something totally different. So my hope is that somebody reads this after buying lots of copies for their friends and relatives. Uh, Maybe he gets a laugh out of it, or when it looks like the sky is falling, it ain't that serious.
So
There's an old,
do dish about Johnny Cash hitting on your wife. I mean, Johnny Cash,
yeah,
he's nice to look at back in the day.
yeah, he's gone now. I loved his music. I never really knew him. I met him a couple times, and my wife at the time of this, we were doing some special effects work, and we did a little opening for the Country Music Awards in Tulsa, that metropolis. And
Mm-hmm.
so my wife was getting her PhD in molecular biology. Yeah, exactly. You've heard the term marrying above your station. I am living proof it can be done.
Yes, but you
So
make her laugh, and that's why she keeps you.
probably just the amusement value alone. So anyway, we went into Tulsa and we were supposed to do something to open up the show, which is a whole nother story, using special effects and lasers and stuff. And when it was over, my one comment to my wife was, well, we just tanked in front of 30 million people. And she had flown in. I'd conned her into coming in. Tulsa's beautiful. You'll love it here. So she took a break. So she was there. And I went to the bar, of course. I mean, where else would I go? And we, dog or cat?
Dog.
And when I came out, Rusty, here was this huge group of people, must have been 200 people, standing in kind of a semicircle around this tall guy in black and my wife. So pretty soon people started dissipating. I went up to her and I said, what did he say to you? And Rusty, to this day, she has never told me. She just looked at me and said, she said a lot of nonsense. And I'm on my deathbed. She's going to come in and say, now I'll tell you. But
I don't know. It sounds
yeah.
like she'll wait until the Ouija board moment. You'll be dead and she'll try to Ouija board you.
Probably. And then I said, do you know who that was? And Rusty, I swear to you, we're talking about a PhD candidate in molecular biology. She looked right in the eye and said, no, I don't know. Who was that? And I said, Johnny Cash. And she looked at me and said, who's Johnny Cash?
She had better things to do than listen to Johnny Cash.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that possible?
Studying RNA molecules. Yeah, that'll do it. So yeah, that was it. Cash had a pretty good reputation, honestly, of not. He was still married to June Carter Cash at the time before she died. I'm not screwing around and stuff on the road, and so who knows, Rusty? I don't know, but it was an interesting episode, you know.
What is the one story in your life that you feel like it was just the best part of your life so far? You've got a lot to go, but you know, we all have those moments.
Yeah. Well, I think, you know, there's an old saying that today's catastrophe is tomorrow's funny story. And I think in looking back, it would be either the day we lost 10 grand at the Hollywood sign or the day we pitched a loan shark for an advertising contract. One of those two, I think, were kind of the height of, you know, all the craziness that that we went through.
How was it going up against the loan sharks? I mean, I've watched the show a couple of times in my travels because I don't do cable. They seem to be really hard-nosed.
Well, how it came to that is a friend of mine who is kind of crazy bought a little radio station in Las Vegas. Now, Rusty, a daytimer station, the world's different now, but back then, little daytimer stations could reach, you know, one city in the daytime, and then at night they could reach kind of out the back window. I mean, the signals were very low at night. So anyway, my friend called me up and said, "Hey, I just bought a radio station in Las Vegas, and I have a great idea." And I thought, his last idea didn't work out that great for me. So I said, "What?" And he said, "We are going to sell advertising on this radio station, and we won't take cash. We'll take swag. Somebody wants to advertise, we'll take a car. They want to advertise, we'll take, you know, $5,000 worth of meals at the restaurant." He said, "We're going to live like kings, and you're going to help me." And I thought, well, he offered a little money, so I went in there, and one day he called me in the office, and Randy, he said, "Hey, we're out of money." I thought, well, no surprise there. I mean, we're not taking in any, so, you know, you're going to run out at some point. So he said, "To get money, we are going to go pitch Big Jim for a year advertising contract, all cash up front." Now, Rusty, I was new to Las Vegas, but even I knew that Big Jim was the biggest loan shark in town. And that was back in the day when that was serious break your legs kind of business. So I said, "You know, are you sure this is really a good idea?" He said, "Oh, it'll be a piece of cake." I even made him a commercial, a sample commercial. So Rusty, he played me this commercial, and it was kind of nice. You know, stentorian disc jockey voice, nice music in the background, and with the dialogue was, if you ran into trouble with the law, call Big Jim and get bailed out. So I thought, well, okay. So we went to Big Jim's, right? And in the conference room, here is Big Jim looking like Jabba the Hutt, and a young guy with him who was a terrible dresser, turned out to be his son. And he was reputed to be mean as a rattlesnake. So the son starts in on us and says, "I don't even know why we're here. We're not going to buy any stupid advertising." And my friend says, "Hey, I even made a commercial for you." And the kid says, "We don't want to hear any stupid." And Big Jim says, "Play it." So my friend presses the button. And Rusty, instead of the commercial he'd played for me, what I heard was my friend's voice, backed by organ music in a minor key, booming forth from the speaker. And here was the dialogue. "Have you killed your wife? If you have money in the bank, here at Big Jim's, we don't care. Hit your mom with an axe? If you have equity in real estate, here at Big Jim's bail bonds, we don't care." And Rusty, I swear to God, I thought the kid was going to shoot us, you know. And he looked over his dad, who, as it turns out, was laughing so hard, I thought he was going to have a heart attack. So when he recovered, he said, "Okay, I'll do your deal." And yes, it was cash in a paper bag. And he said, "There's two conditions." And my friend, who's scribbling the contract quickly, said, "What are they?" And Big Jim said, "First of all," bingo, exactly. "Give me that commercial, and it better be the only copy, and you never put anything on the air without me approving it.
Mm.
Done. We walked out with a bag full of money. And I thought, Rusty, that Big Jim got that commercial to destroy it. But I heard afterward that he played it for a long time at every party he went to, right up until he went to jail.
Wow. So Wayne, what state do you live in?
Right now I'm in Colorado. We were in Los Angeles for a long time, some decades. Where else? Where else would I live but LA? You know?
You could be my soul brother and cruising around in an RV all over the country for all I know.
No. I watched Nomad. Oh,
I haven't
God.
seen that yet, so don't tell me.
Don't. And don't have a loaded gun in the house so you blow your brains out after it's over. I thought, what a depressing movie. I won't say more than that.
Yeah, don't. I haven't seen it yet, but a lot of the characters in that movie I follow because I'm a nomad. So,
the lead actress, I love her.
Yeah, she's
Fargo. Oh,
Frances.
Yeah, she's
I don't remember her last name. Frances something.
Yeah, and now Academy Award-winning Frances. Mm-hmm. She's great. So I watch everything she's in, 3 Billboards, all that, and I thought this is going to be a fantastic film.
You got depressed, huh?
You have been warned.
Okay, another box of tissues. I won't do it today because I've already cried, so we're good.
Don't do that. Buy a copy of my book. That'll help.
Do you have a copy of your book with you?
Yeah, I do, as a matter of fact.
All right, show us the cover so we know what we're looking for.
Watch this.
Boom, boom, boom.
My picture. Can you see it?
No, I think you're frozen.
What?
Hey, whoa, I see your hand. Whoa. Thank God I wasn't on acid or something.
So, yeah, there's a picture where they tried to make me look like Hunter Thompson, and I called the publisher and I said, what is this? Ripping off Hunter Thompson. And he was the gonzo journalist, leaving Las Vegas and all that.
Yeah.
And I said, you do know he killed himself and had his ashes packed into fireworks that they shot off in the sky at his wake. I said, that's my role model. I don't think so. No.
I don't know. That actually kind of sounds a little like something I would do. I'm down with that.
I want a little backstory here. You've been doing this for 11 years. You were one of the first.
One of the first?
Well,
no, not quite.
Yeah, blogging and stuff. Well, close.
Yeah, I was in the beginners segment of podcasting, and it's a very different world. I did a lot of radio work at various colleges growing up, and so local radio was kind of what my mind was thinking until I started getting emails from people in different countries going, I love your show, or you saved my sister's life, or just some really powerful things. And I'm going, I didn't realize the scope or the reach or the depth, because I'm the last generation that actually had pen pals that you would actually stick a stamp on the envelope and wait 2 or 3 weeks for a response. Technology was just starting when I was growing up, and so it's a different world doing it this way. But I think it's really refreshing and beautiful because I literally can spend my day going all over the country, all over the world, meeting people with beautiful stories and talents and gifts, and sharing them with other people who may not even thought of doing something fun or different.
Fantastic. Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Great.
Yeah, it's fun. I love it.
No, good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I feel very
I got it. Well, I tell you, Rusty, through this book, I've had the opportunity to be on a variety of blogs. And now, how do I say this gently? Most of them, unlike you, are not ready for prime time. Let's put it that way. That's about it.
I know that there's I run this specifically to be very authentic, as though you and I just met at a coffee shop, or I want a real conversation with real people. I think there's a lot of shiny people that do shiny things, and I'm not a shiny person. I like what makes the fabric of our world strong is the regular people. So I don't host the show in a preempted way, and maybe that's what you're picking up on.
I suspect you're absolutely right. I think speaking as a kind of a fellow broadcaster, what a lot of the shows I view the problem is people are pretentious. I'm hosting a show. Well, whoop-de-doo. I mean, what the show is about, as you pointed out, is two things. One, of course, is the host, but the second is who you're interviewing and letting them roll. Good for you. Geez, Rusty, great. I don't know what I was expecting, but it was not this. So,
well,
wonderful.
Welcome to my living room.
Where are you today?
I live, for the time being, I'm on the west coast of Florida. I am a mile away from the Gulf Ocean, so I get blessed with a variety of animals and fog and ocean weather and perpetual sunshine. It's a terrible place to live, really.
It sounds awful. Yeah.
Yeah, it's perpetual happiness, and I just couldn't feel more blessed.
Good. Bravo. And you're high enough that the tidal surge won't get you, so.
I can swim, and I got my little rubber duckies, so even if it did. You go through enough of life, it just is what it is, right?
That's exactly correct. Yeah.
So Wayne, where can we find more information about you? Because our hourglass has ended up on almost 0 pieces of sand. So
www.waynemcfarland.com. That's McFarland.com, Wayne McFarland. Or www.talesfromtheday.com, which is available on Amazon. No. I love it when I do that.
You didn't do it in a radio announcer voice, though. I'm very disappointed. Try it again.
Tales from the Day, available now on Amazon.com.
Now you feel like on everybody else's show.
There you go.
Wayne, it's been a lot of fun. Thank you so much. And if you come up with another book or anything, just reach out and let us know. And I'd love to have you back on.
Thank you so much. You take care, my friend.
You too, dear. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.